What is up, everybody? Long time no see. Um, First time in a little while I had to do a video. So here it is, my regional winning deck. It is a very cheap and affordable deck at a low price of $835, which is pretty good considering what my decks usually cost. I think most of the cost is tournament promos. And yeah, promos. It's the promos that always keeps this game so crazy. But yeah, this is where we're at. So I'll talk a little bit about the deck, what made it good, what made it work, and where I almost didn't win the regional because I almost made a huge misplay. Technically started to make a misplay. The judge was able to fix it. King Vegeta, if you don't know the leader, look him up. He's going to be played in all of your metas. He's an amazing leader. In large part because of Young Invaders. This card is pretty freaking amazing. Every turn until your opponent gets below 4 life, you get to crit them a life in exchange for them drawing a card, which is a very powerful effect for nothing. So decks that want to go later in the game, obviously to like save their awakens and stuff, have a really hard time with this. And some of the decks that take their own life make it so you can even be more aggressive than you should be. Like King Piccolo only starts at 6. Well, you could shoot them for 5 if they go first. So you can be like, put them at 5 during your turn. You can do like 3 or 4 attacks, and then they're in like a really awkward situation on turn 2 where you can just kill them. And that's what I did. A lot of my wins were on turn 2, but not all of them. You have to kind of ebb and flow the deck. This isn't a final version. This is what I wanted to try some cards out. I'm kind of in between 2 decks. It's not the best build, but it's pretty good. I'd say we're close. I don't like the 3-drop Unison build. It's pretty popular. I know the Miami people are all on it. But especially in best of 1, if you want this little 1 right here for the end of it, and congrats to all my other top 4 people and top 16. Big props to Frisco and Jacob Daves. I'm trying to see who else. I know a lot of these people. I feel like it's just going to be the same people in top 16. But yeah, it's pretty good. So this is some of the other stuff to talk about that's relevant. Off of Young Invaders, you want to always put a Vegeta on your opponent's side. This is going to let your first attack always be a -5 each turn. So if they don't negate that attack, you just get an extra damage. It's pretty nice. And then once you're awakened, you get a little combo where you get to neg 10 one of their battle cards, which is a relevant effect. One of my opponents did have Vegeta out, and he played Zarbon. And I think it was round 2 or 3 Frieza. It was Green Frieza discard deck, which is a pretty good meta call because blue is getting popular again, and you just eat blue, I would imagine, with all the hand destruction. And then, once you get Dark Brawly in play, you're just like ping ping. But the King Vegeta would let me basically kill the Zarbon before we got to the step where he could block. Block would trigger, of course. My auto resolves first. I would neg his leader. I would neg it. And so it was really nice. In the game in question where I did start to put my hand on top of the 4, and I almost shuffled them in, we also screwed up, or mostly I screwed up. I was on tilt because they repaired, and it wasn't a big deal, but it was one of those things where like I was doing really well in the mat in round 4. I think it was when they repaired, and then like I won the dice roll. I was just crushing my opponent on 2. Like I knew I had the win in the bag. There was no way I could do it, and they were like repair, and I was like. And it really put me on tilt, and my opponent was on tilt. And then it's just kind of like silliness where sometimes you're immature and you try not to be, but we were. And so I screwed up on that. And then when I swung with my 3-drop at one point, who's got critical, he's probably your best turn 1 play. He dormant potentialed, and we let it just fog. So even though he was like a 5K into my critical, we just were like, oh, okay, the attack's negated. Because I haven't played against dormant in so long, I just screwed it up. A few things to keep in mind about what makes this deck work and what I would change as we go over some of this stuff. Vegeta switching gears is the best promo in the game. I honestly wonder if this will be one of those few promos that will go up long-term in price. If they don't reprint it, this card is amazing, and we are now about to enter the final what is it, August 6th? So this is the next tournament season. So you've only got a few weeks to get these, and then what? Like you just there's no more, which is a problem because this card is broken. Everyone talks about it in all the videos. It's the same thing always. It's just the fact that you get to bottom deck one of your little tiny cards and loot a card or put a card underneath the bottom of your deck to draw two. This is very relevant in this game because in games like Magic and stuff, that would cost two mana. And you would spend two mana for that pretty consistently. Like in the good old days of extended and stuff, there were some cool decks that would do it. Um, and you'd get some combos off of it, of course, but it let you try to figure out what you want in your hand, especially because, in Magic they have mana flood. Well, in this game, mana flooding is very similar where you get dead cards. Um, for example, I run 5 unisons. It feels bad to have more than 2 unisons in your hand. Two is okay because you're going to play one, then they'll attack it. You're going to replay it and be like, you wasted your turn. That's fine. But it feels really bad when you get a bunch. So if you get multiple Piccolos in your hand, it feels really good to be putting out this 10K for free. We never had a lot of 10Ks that were free back in the day. This is a little bit too good. I'm surprised that they've allowed it. I don't think it'll get hit within a year, so it's safe investment. But I think in a year from now, someone will be like, this is too good, or there'll be something else. It's free. Like you just put a card from your hand at the bottom, you just put one of your Raditzes down. It's just very, very good. Some other cards that I ran that were a little bit different was I run one copy of Mass Saiyan. He's just like Piccolo, but he doesn't kill negates. In large part, I run this just to be a 5th unison because turn 2, you really want to just go unison. This is a turn 3 deck. You only go for the turn 2 kill if your opponent sets it up. I played against Dark Brawly. He did really well up until the final turn, and he was just beating me. I was at like 2 life. And I'm like, I'm in trouble. I don't have a Piccolo Unison. How do I get him down? And I went to play a Raditz, and he commanded it. And I was like, okay. So he went to 3 life. I swung with my leader. I just comboed the Heartfelt in my hand because I had nothing in play. And then I awakened, and I was like a 25K. I had the Overwhelm ready, so I super comboed at that point. And I was like, okay, hey, 35K. And he took it. He went to 2, and I was like, okay, attempt to pay, I think it was like a Goku for 1. Um, Kind of like baiting him just to be like, all right, I'm going to play this card, see if you have a response. And then he played another Super Kamehameha, and I just jammed my Overwhelm Bardock down and swung and used my Frieza Death Ball to kill him and just went all in because it was just like a bad game that I don't think I should have won. It just was like I had the right combination of cards to barely get there. If you saw the finals, Heroes Lineage, I didn't bait my opponent. That'd be an incorrect term. I don't know what the term would be. I purposely let my opponent keep attacking me and without bothering to defend or get out of it in the hopes that he would swing with a battle card that was and give it Champa and Double Strike and then not be afraid of my ability to Death Ball and forget about Heroes Lineage. And I thought my opponent wasn't going to do that. And then at the end, he realized that with his hand, he probably wasn't going to win because he was down to 2 life at that point or 1 life. And so if I just had Champa and like a leader swing or a unison swing, the game was over because I obviously run Death Ball. And so his yellow negate didn't buy him enough. So he went for it. I was able to awaken, which I was saving. And I just Heroes Lineaged it. I stole it. It felt really good just to be like, I think it was an 80K combo. I don't know if I could have gotten bigger. But I was like, nope, it's mine. So that was fun. Raditz Young Invader is the same thing as Vegeta, but he doesn't have any bonus effects. He's also a tournament promo. I bought 4 of these when these came out, like the first week, thinking that this is the better one because I thought I'd play both Goku and Vegeta. More and more, I'm realizing that I should be running more Vegetas and less of Raditz in my current build. If I ever add the tournament promo for Goku, I could go back to this, but this is a bad card in comparison because Vegeta just, man, that -5 is solid. And you never really want to put 2 young invaders on your opponent's side of the board. Five's the right number. It's a little bit shaky. I could see if you want to run six. There, game one, I could have lost potentially. My opponent also had a slow start, but I had no young invaders left in my deck, and I drew no of the three drops. So I was just like, I became like a two drop Piccolo deck, and like it just was not good. And then finally, because I didn't have any of these things, when I finally went to kill him on four, I had everything. Because if you have nothing in the beginning, you're going to draw stuff. This Goku Legend Personified, in my opinion, might be one of those sleeper rares from the set. It looks like he's $2 right now. The reason why is your opponent has to have three or more energy. Um, and he's kind of like how Basil is, and for like extreme power. They both have unique. Basil can attack twice. In his case, if they have three or more energy, he becomes a 25k. I think twice in the 8 rounds, I went for game with this Goku on turn three. And one of the games, I just played it and then attacked with it. My opponent took the damage, went to two, and then I forgot how it worked out, but I just awoke with him, and I didn't have to use a death ball. So it got me a free attack, it drew a card, and it let me use my heartfelt. As you guys know, heartfelt is, of course, no longer an option. It will be down to two. I'm sorry, to one. We'll still play it. I think you still play Death Ball at a three, and you just have it. I would say two or three of my games I played Heartfelt out of 8 rounds. Obviously, best of one's different. I don't have a clue what best of three is like right now. I play at locals, and that's about it. I mean, we don't have a best of three environment anymore. Um, Brawly Crown of Retribution is how you beat blue. You got to steal their super combo. If you steal their super combos, because Red Brawly, Red King Vegeta looks at its top five, looks at its top five, draws two. You'll get two or three of your super combos. So if you can deprive your opponent of any of theirs, the swing is just incredible. You could always take negates, but that's what we run the Piccolo for and the Yamchas, and like we have so much synergy that you don't need to worry too much about your opponent's board because you can wipe it. Um, I'm running three King Vegeta's Imposing Presence and not running no Violent Death. Was it Violent Rays? I don't know if that's the right call. It's my call. I never have the energy for Violent Ray. I would definitely have it in my sideboard, but I really like this card. Just turn three, just you got a bean, and then it's also a removal spell for a discard a card and play it because your leader, if you're awakened, will also neg 10. So it's pretty strong. Wolfgang Fist is another card where I'm kind of like, do we need Wolfgang Fist anymore? So I'm thinking that's probably a cut and goes to sideboard. I'll show you guys what I'm thinking will be sideboard, and we'll make it a 50 in a second. Like I said, this is your turn one play. Just it's pretty amazing to choose to take a life off of Young Invaders on your turn. Play the Vegeta. Look at your top five. If you grab a super combo, you're so far ahead. It feels like pass the turn. Then your opponent will crit a life. They'll go to 7. They'll go to 8 cards in hand by the end of it. You give them this Vegeta. On your turn 2, you get to swing with Vegeta. You'll critical them because very few people are going to be able to block that much damage because it's 19 on 5 effectively thanks to this. And it'd be good for you if they did. Like discarding 3 cards for 1 life would be amazing. So they go to 6 life. You swing with your leader. If you want to, you look at your top 5. Once again, if you grab another super combo, you're all like excited. You then get to bottom deck their Young Invader. You get to play this guy, knocks them down to 4. Play the Unison for 2. A swing. They're probably going to awaken or they're going to super combo, which means on turn 2, you force them to use their super combo or discard cards from their hand or blow their awakening. Like lots of good things are happening. And then you follow it up with Piccolo. That's the God hand. And then you pass the turn. They're at like 3 life. They're at 2 life. They're at 4 life. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You're probably still at 7 life. You can choose to awaken if you want to, but usually you keep it. And then your turn 3, you don't play this card. I think that might go to my sideboard, honestly. it's so good. It's like the best card ever if people were playing battle cards. And I know that sounds dumb because we play a lot of battle cards, but the battle cards either have barrier nowadays or they like have interactions where they can get rid of it. The best part is, of course, if this gets removed from a skill, they lose a life. Um, Very relevant, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like we need space. We'll look at the list. Like I said, this is going to be here. I'll clone it, and then so these would be some of the changes I would do in large part because I feel like we don't need this card at all now. It's just bad. I don't think we want the Wolfgang Fists, and I think we want to drop a Raditz and go up a Vegeta, just because he's better. And then I don't know what. I kind of want to cut something just to be down to 50 cards because I feel like our consistency will go up. Like, obviously, after errata, we have to do this. And so when that happens, we probably would just go either one more Death Ball because I really like Death Ball. Like, Death Ball is in the current format, I feel like Death Ball is way better in King Vegeta than in other decks. So I'm actually going to say Death Ball or Champa. Champa. It's got to be Champa. Two Champas is always the right answer. So this is the new deck. This is what I'm going to play for the regional. That when this goes live, this will be my deck. I'm not, for nationals, I'll come up with something clever, different. But this is probably all I'm just going to do. This is the build that I think will crush. One of the things I didn't talk about, I realize, is you want to use you want to sequence things a little bit weird. So you're going to want to awaken with King Vegeta's swing and purposely go to 5 life whenever you can if your opponent hasn't dealt any damage to you, which sometimes will happen, like if it's turn 2. And it's like they went first, so you've had 2 chances now to attack. You're going for game. You want to purposely go to 5 life off of the Awaken, then use Young Invaders to go to 4 life, then play something as small as can be. I don't care. It can be a Vegeta 2-drop. And you just attack and you super combo and you super combo. 30k is the magic number right now in the game. You don't want to ever be at 25k because that means they'll just super combo once. But if they double super combo, perfect. Like you want to get people to blow the best cards in their hand, and all you're trying to do is fill your drop. Somehow I didn't put a third Raditz here. I screwed up of which one I deleted. That's embarrassing. But yeah, the clone is the important one. So I probably would run 4, by the way, of that card. The what is his name? Who's passed it? Raditz, Saiyan Youth, the super combo. I think that's a better thing just to run 4 of. I wanted to try to see if Jean would help out because she's effectively an 11k on the fence. So 1 additional power up. It didn't really do anything for me. I'll be honest, Legends let me borrow my 4th Raditz, and I just haven't got a 5th. So it's not even like a good reason. I just haven't got one. Yamcha is, of course, amazing. He's even better with this leader because if you play it once you've awakened, it's effectively a 25k, which is just phenomenal. I have definitely enjoyed the negative part of this leader more than I thought I would. I'd say it's what made me probably win the event, besides, of course, some good luck. But the power to nag my opponent's battle cards for the turn, once per turn, is effectively like a free removal spell. And so it's pretty common in this game to like have an ability that says like Beerus, you can combo once from your drop, or instead of now drawing. This leader still draws, and then once a turn, he can still do his effectively a free combo. It's a negative, so it's not in the combo step, but it's pretty powerful. And that's it. Feels good to finally win something I haven't won since March. So like it's been like 4 months. I've been in the top 4s, top 16s, top 32 bracket. Like it doesn't feel as good. So it feels really good to have a win. Thanks for if you guys support me. I appreciate all the shout outs and stuff. And hopefully I'll see you guys at Gen Con. Have a good day.